who is the father of oil industry. If you don't know, the person is coming walking on the dais. जोर से तालियां. BB Mehta, I'm telling you guys, I'm in this industry from last 16 years. I joined Marico and before that I was with Coca-Cola. Mehta ji 46 years Solvent Extraction Association के हमारे honorable actually executive secretary साहब है. 47 years. कितने लोगों की एज भी नहीं होगी 47. जोर से तालियां. He is the encyclopedia of oil industry, oils and fat. एंड मेहता जी की उम्र बताऊंगा नहीं, मारेंगे मेरे को, लेकिन 46 ईयर्स अगर इनकी एक्सपीरियंस है तो इनका एज 47 तो जरूर होता है. तो सर के लिए धन्यवाद सर. एंड यू हैव ऑल 10 मिनट्स टू स्पीक, क्योंकि जब इसके पीछे कहानी है. इनके कोई भी कॉन्फ्रेंस में मेरे को बुलाते प्रबोध यू हैव 3 मिनट्स, अभी मैं आपको 10 मिनट दे रहा हूँ. आई एम टेकिंग रिवेंज.
गुड आफ्टरनून. पहले तो ये बता दूं, प्रबोध ज़्यादा बोलता है, डोंट बिलीव हिम या. एंड आप लोग काफ़ी टेक्निकल लेक्चर सुने हैं दोपहर से, तो मेरा टेक्निकल नहीं है, प्योरली ऑन द कमोडिटी पे है, ट्रेडिंग पे है, वो है. या लेट मी टेल यू अबाउट माई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बिफोर आई स्टार्ट. SCA is one of the oldest association in the country, formed in 1963 by A.B. Godrej and Mr. A.H. Premji at that point of time. We are NGO by the Ministry of Agriculture and also the trade promotion organizations by the Ministry of Commerce here. SCA is also part of the International Association of Rice Bran, International Sunflower, and also recently we have formed Asian Palm Oil Alliance. The SCA is a part of it. One more, I think 3 years back, we had a ITC Geneva team. We visited SCA office. They wanted to study the case study. And after study, independently they studied and they said that this is one of the best associations. I'm not praising my association, but this is on, you can go to the ITC's website, ITC of United Nations, and you'll see the reports here. Now let us look at the Indian economy overview. Look at here. Average GDP in the last 6 years, except 2021 when we had a bad monsoon, it was 6.8%. And for current year, 2022-23, GDP is poised to be at 7.4, highest in the world. Of course, Reserve Bank says 7.3, some say 7.5, some say 7.0. Anyway, it's a 7 plus plus. And look at the GDP growth of the agriculture. 52% of the India is dependent on the agriculture. When we have good monsoon, definitely economy prospers like anything. This year, let me tell you, Indra Dev is so kind to us. The monsoon is 107%. Means 100 is a normal, 7% above the normal, and practically entire India has received a good monsoon. Not only monsoon, rain, but also the later part of the season. So you can expect a very good Rabi crop in the next season. Yeah. As about the acreage is concerned, total acreage under Kharif oilseed crop about 19 million hectare, which was more or less the same of the last years. But soybean also about 12 million hectare. The only the loss is a groundnut, where it is down by about 350,000 hectare. But what I'm getting is the report from the groundnut belt, that though the acreage is down, yield is much higher this year, and that will compensate here. Now let us look at quickly the balance sheet of my Indian vegetable industry. Average oilseed cultivation take place in about 29 to 30 million hectare. I'm talking Kharif and Rabi combined. Average yield, very poor. 1100, even this is on the higher side. World average is 2,200 kg per hectare. The highest is about 3,300 kg per hectare. So we are 1/3 of the highest and half of the world average. So this is a very cause of concern for for all of us, government and industry, and particularly if you look at the oilseed production is more or less stagnant at the moment, roughly about 30 million plus or minus 2 million ton. Population, of course, you know it very well. Per capita consumption during the COVID has gone down, but now again is back, and roughly we consider 16 kg. Of course, I am not counting the ghee or other things. Now, about the ghee also, we say about 1 to 1.5 kg, but somebody say ghee consumption is much higher in India. But there's no official record or data is available about ghee consumptions here. The total requirement of edible oils is about 22.5 million ton. Our own production is not more than 10 million ton. So, we have to bridge the gap through the imports. And every year we are importing the edible oils. And if you look at the last year, we import about 13 million ton, and this year also we'll be importing the similar quantity. The cause of concern is how much money we are spending. Of course, I'll come in the later, but that's very alarming, the way we are spending. Our dependence is about 60% on the import of edible oil. The cause of concern is a matter of food security, and one cannot take a chance. Now, look at here. Now, as I said, consumption, 21-22 consumption, look at the number, about 22.5 million tons total. Which are the oil consumed maximum? Palm oil, roughly about 7.5 million, so 33% palm, followed by soybean, 24%, and rape mustard, the domestic, is about 15%. Of course, we have a cottonseed oil, about 1.1 million. We have the rice bran oil, about 1 million ton. Coconut oil, another about 400,000 ton. But if you look at the compositions, major is the palm and soya, which are both are imported practically. And I said, as our import, how much we are importing? Look at here. Total in 2021, when I talk, it's a November-October period. We go by the November-October. We imported 13.5 million ton. What is the value? 1,17,000 crore, roughly about $15 billion. $15 billion. This I have talked about 2021. If you go back to now, if you look at the 22-23, November, October, it will be about 1.5 lakh crores, roughly about $20 billion. It's a mind-boggling. Third item, no exchequer. First is crude petroleum, second is gold, and third is edible oil. So it's a cause of concern to the government. This table is very, very important. There's no monitor. Look at the price variation. If you go back first to the April 21, look at the price of the RBD oil was 1,115 US dollar. Crude palm oil was 1173. Crude soybean oil 1290, and sunflower oil 133. This I'm talking about April 21. Then the market went up. There were a number of reasons. Look at the April 22. RBD 1748, crude palm oil 1791, crude soybean oil 1909, and crude sunflower oil 2155. Why it has gone up? So basically there are 2-3 factors. One was the Ukraine war, February. So we normally get about 200,000 tons of sunflower oil to the Ukraine. That's not from the all over Ukraine. About 70% was coming to the Ukraine. That stopped. Second, the Indonesia banned the export of palm oil during April and May. Third, there was a severe shortage of the labor in Malaysia. So these three reasons the market went up heavily. Now, but see, now where April 22 and yesterday price from 748 has come down to 840. There's a glut in the edible oil in the world market. Indonesia has a surplus, so much surplus, they don't know how to ship even. When they stop the export, every month they produce about 4 million tons of the palm oil, about 1.5 million they consume, and 2.5 million they add in the stocks. So currently they have about 7 to 8 million ton stocks, plus every month they are adding. Malaysia has about 2 million ton stocks here. Crude palm oil from 1791, 840. Soybean oil from 1909 to 1115. And sunflower again, now we are getting large quantity from Russia. So from the highest was at 2155, now it's 1250. I'm sure as a housewife, you will be happy that the price of all the oil has gone down by about nearly 70%. Palm oil, whether palm, soy or sun. Of course, some ladies complain that you are showing the price has fallen, but we are not getting that benefits. Normally, it takes about 20-25 days. By the time price reduces in interest market, that moves to India, refine others. And also I don't know whether any retailers are here. Retailer has a tendency to push the higher MRP cargo first, then the lower MRP. As I said, the way the price went up, government started reducing duty and current duty is very, very low. Crude palm oil is a 5.5%. RBD is a 13.75%. Crude soya and crude sunflower oil, though I'm showing is a nil now. There's a TRQ. So practically, there's no duty on edible oil just to keep the price under check. But they had taken decisions in April and May when the price was rolling high. But now the government is thinking the other way. They may have to raise the import duty to support the farmer. So long you have pampered the urban consumer. Let me tell you, urban consumer being pampered, we are most talkative. We make a lot of voice when the price goes up. What of the poor farmers? Now they will suffer when the price falls much below. Soybean MSP is 4,300 and the current price has come down to about 5,000, and with the arrival pressure, it may touch MSP. So government is considering to reimpose the duty or increase the duty on the palm oil and others. I think this is a very important import. I said we import palm mainly from Malaysia and Indonesia, soybean mainly Argentina, Brazil, and we have started importing from USA also. Ratan will be happy that we have started importing soybean oil from the USA also. And sunflower, earlier it was Ukraine. Now we are importing from the Russia, Ukraine, of course, now started. And Argentina, we are importing large quantity of oils here. I'll go a little fast since the Prabodh is sitting on my head. Outlook. Now, what will be the import during the current year? We have the data up to August. Up to August, we have imported 11.07 million ton. My expectation by October end, that's a 21-22, will be importing about 13.5 million tons. But if you look at here, the main is the soybean, we increase from 2.87, it's gone to 4 million ton. Sunflower, 1.8 million to about 2 million ton. The change is RBD olein from just about 69,000, now 6 lakh tons, now is 1.8 million. And that is hurting the domestic refinery. When we get a finished product imported into India, our capacity utilization goes down. So we talk about the Atmanirbhar. We always tell the government, allow the import of the raw material, not a finished product. Why refined oil? We have a capacity to refine as much as, in surprise here, capacity utilizes hardly 40% of the refining industry. So we have enough capacity, and we pursue the government, allow the raw material, not the finished product. But sometimes government has their own wisdom, and they allow the finished product also. Now this is a long-term projection. What will be our requirement? I have plotted consumption growth by 2% and consumption by 3%. By 25-26, India may need about 26 to 28 million tons of edible oils here. And how do we bridge? Now, next slide, I'll take it here. Of course, this is a current year product, Kharif and Rabi. If you look at it, the total production has increased to 320 8 lakhs or 32.8 million tons from the 27.8 million tons last year. Thanks to the good monsoon, Kharif crop was excellent and Rabi was excellent last year's year. Of course, this is a particular soybean since we are here for USSEC conference. Okay, what is the products acreage and the production of the soybean in India? On 2022, acreage was about 12.1 million, and here the production is being shown is 12.9, where I said about 10.5. This is a government number, so we can't change it here. But so far the trade is concerned, we believe the crop is somewhere about 10.5 million last year's year. Now look at here. This is a domestic consumption of various oils. If you look at groundnut, we consume about 10 lakh tons. Soybean products of soybean is about 40. This is local I'm talking. Domestic production. Rapeseed is the highest in our local, about 35 lakh. Sunflower, once upon a time we used to produce about 3 to 4 lakh tons of sunflower oil, but now sunflower crop is practically disappeared except the certain part of the Karnataka. And the total production of our domestic oil is just 9.4 million compared to the last year 8.2 million ton. And this is the reason. Our product rate is very, very low, 1000 kg. And look at the acreage, when we look at the acreage and production, product is very low and it's a cause of concern. I think my friend Ratan will be happy. Look at the local oil of soybean oil. The last 7 years I plotted. Local oil is about 15 lakhs, where the import is a 40 lakhs. The total is total disappearance. When we say disappearance, means utilize total about 5.5 million ton or 55 lakh ton. So it's increasing year by year. If you look at 2021, it was only 38 lakhs. Now it's gone up to 54. While on the subject, India also exports soybean meal. Look at here. Once upon a time, we were exporting about 4 million ton, about 38 lakh tons of soybean meal. If you look at the 11-12, gradually it's increased thanks to the higher consumption of soybean meal in the country, the feed industry. And now, last year we just exported about 4 lakh tons. And rather than we have started importing soybean meal, including GM soybean meal, to meet the feed industry requirement. Feed industry is growing at the pace of 10 to 12%. So more and more soybean meal they require for the chicks and others. But same time, soybean production is more or less stagnant, around about 10 to 11 million tons. We are exporting, apart from the soybean meal, rapeseed meal, groundnut meal, rice bran meal, and the castor meal. Of course, soybean meal, we also export the soybean meal to USA in 2021, about 226,000 ton is a non-GM organic meal. And there's a preference in the USA. In the current year, 21-22, we are outpriced in the world market and hardly about 65,000 tin exported to the USA. But the rapeseed meal is a hero. Look at it. Earlier, rapeseed meal was very small. Now we are exporting about 8 lakh to 10 lakh tons per annum, the rapeseed meal. Now, these are the three important developments related to the soybean. One, import of GM soybean meal. In 2021, Government of India allowed the import of 1.2 million tons of GM soybean meal. The first time in the history, they allowed the GM soybean meal after long persuasion to the government, both jointly by USSEC and SEA, out of which actually India could import about 650,000 ton. But the balance quantity now government has allowed for import of the current year, and so far India has imported out of the 5.5 lakhs, 1,60,000 is imported from April to the September. About 1,60,000 ton is being imported. Tariff rate quota. This is something new. When the price went very high, government decided to reduce the duty and allow the tariff quota about 2 million tons each of soya and sunflower as zero duty. So this is and that is valid up to 31st March 2024. So if somebody wants to import soybean or sunflower oil, he can import at zero duty under tariff rate quota, provided he has a quota. And third is a import of non-GM soybean. During 2021, India imported about 4 lakh tons of the non-GM soybean seed, mainly from African countries. In current year, up to September, about 250,000 tons of soybean seed, non-GM, is being imported from the African countries here. The last slide before, what is the takeaway? Future scenario projection by 21-20 oilseed production, we are expecting by 25-26, it will touch hopefully 38 to 40 million tons from current level of 33 million tons. Domestic vegetable oil production, about 13.5 million tons. Vegetable oil demand, by the time demand, as I said earlier, it will be 25 or 26 million tons. And vegetable oil import will continue to be import the edible oil even in 25-26. Only which oil will import depends on the price parity. Whether we may import larger quantity of palm or larger quantity of soya or larger quantity of sunflower depends on the price parity. And thank you very much. If you have any questions, certainly you can bother me. Otherwise, Prabodh, am I in time or still? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. May I request Dr. Ratan to please come on the dais and felicitate Dr. Mehta. So thank you so much for your time and sharing the knowledge. Thank you, sir.